playLightning forward Brayden Point on potentially playing a shutdown role against Alex. 049, Lightning forward Brayden Point on potentially playing a shutdown role against Alex Ovechkin and the Capitals. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final is Friday night in Tampa. Video by Greg Wyshynski. 049, 12:19 p.m. ETHow they got here. The Tampa Bay Lightning exorcised the New Jersey Devils in 5 games, which was expected, and then licked the Boston Bruins in 5 games, which wasn't. Speaking of the unexpected, the Washington Capitals lost the first 2 games of their first-round series against the Columbus Blue Jackets while starting Philip Grubauer over Braden Holtby. They made the switch, and Holtby won 4 straight games. Then the real shocker, for only the second time in 11 all-time series, and the first time in the Sidney Crosby era, the Capitals eliminated the Pittsburgh Penguins. Alex Ovechkin is playing in a championship round for the first time in his career. It's great, but also a little surreal. We caught up with the new coach on how he got the job, his influences, his approach with players, and why the Canes are destined for greatness. Coming up just shy of a championship would no doubt be painful, but may actually be the best-case scenario for the expansion club. The Penguins had owned the Capitals in the postseason. But this year, Alex Ovechkin. It's no coincidence that the Capitals are in the conference final at the same time Ovechkin is having his most impactful postseason. As usual, his numbers are strong, 8 goals and 7 assists in 12 games. But it's when he scored that's mattered, factoring in on 3 game-winning goals against the Penguins. Evgeny Kuznetsov, the 7th of July 14, has been just as important, with the game-tying goal in Game 5 and the overtime series winner in Game 6. Tom Wilson, who was suspended 3 games for a headshot against the Penguins, returns to create space and chaos. The Lightning, meanwhile, have a similar trio in Steven Stamkos, the 7th of March 10, Nikita Kucherov, the 6th of June 12, and JT Miller, 2-5-7, 2 unstoppable skill guys, with a truculent and defensively underrated winger. They haven't been dominant at 5-on-5 in the playoffs, scoring 4 goals in 10 games, but they have been dangerous with the +11 in shot attempts. Were this the regular season, the nod goes to Tampa. But given how these lines have played through 2 rounds, advantage, even, depth. The Lightning line of Brayden Point, the 6th of April 10, Tyler Johnson, 2-5-7, and Andre Palat, 4-4-8, had a roller coaster series against Boston. They were torched by the Patrice Bergeron line in Game 1, and then arguably outplayed them the rest of the way. They've generated 9 goals at even strength. Tampa Bay goes 4 lines deep. The trio of Alex Killorn, Anthony Cirelli and Yanni Gourde is a +31 in shot attempts. Veterans Ryan Callahan and Chris Kunitz, the latter of whom knows the Capitals quite well, form a solid 4th line with agitator Cedric Paquette. Washington's second line is anchored by Nicklas Backstrom, the 10th of March 13, who missed Game 6 versus Pittsburgh with a hand injury and whose status is in question to start the Tampa series, and TJ Oshie. Lars Eller, 3-4-7, is the 3rd line center, with Jay Beagle as the 4th line pivot. Around them are a collection of young and talented forwards like Jakub Vrana and Chandler Stevenson, and older supporting players like Alex Chiasson, Brett Connolly and Devante Smith-Pelly. This is a group that punched above its weight versus Pittsburgh. Advantage, Lightning. Defense. Victor Hedman is a monster, skating 26.08 per game and papering over any deficiencies from frequent partner Dan Girardi. The Lightning's regular second pairing of Anton Stralman and Ryan McDonagh could be a first pairing on most teams. Rookie Mikhail Sergachev and veteran Brayden Point round out this group. The Capitals' John Carlson has 11 points in 12 games, and all but 3 have been at even strength. He's played with a few partners, but most recently with Michal Kempny. Matt Niskanen and Dmitry Orlov have been solid, with a +16 in shot attempts. Christian Jews, -17 in shot attempts, and Brooks Orpik, -10, have been the weak link. Advantage: Lightning. Greg Wyshynski and Emily Kaplan discussed the Capitals finally taking out the Penguins and the Golden Knights' push for the Stanley Cup. Plus, ESPN's Victoria Matiash stops by to give her view on the postseason thus far, and we hear from Patriots kicker Stephen Gostkowski about his Bruins fandom. Plus, all of your favorite segments of the week. Listen, goaltending. Has Andrei Vasilevskiy made you a believer? He has a .943 even strength save percentage this postseason, and has generally been solid across the board for the Lightning. In 6 of their 10 games, Vasilevskiy has given up 2 goals or less. Braden Holtby sat behind Grubauer for the Capitals' first 2 playoff games, but has been strong since regaining the crease, if not dominant. Advantage: even. Special teams. 2 lethal power plays. The Capitals are second in the playoffs, at 30.9%, 13 for 42, while the Lightning are fourth, at 26.3%, 10 of 33. Oshie leads all scorers with 4 power play goals, setting up in the slot for shots like Ovechkin does from the circle. Alex Killorn has 3 for the Lightning. The Capitals have a slight advantage on the penalty kill, 79.1%, over the Lightning, 74.2% in the postseason, and were significantly better, 80.3%, than Tampa, 76.1% in the regular season. Advantage: Capitals. Health. The big concern for the Capitals is Backstrom, an essential ingredient to any recipe for success against the Lightning. Andrei Burakovsky, who has been out since the Columbus series, looks like he's on the way back, as coach Barry Trotz said he's day-to-day, rather than week-to-week, and will travel to Tampa. The Lightning are generally healthy, which is what happens when you win your first 2 series in 5 games each. Forward Adam Erne is the only player on their injury report. Advantage: Lightning. Coaching. Like Ovechkin, Barry Trotz finally gets a chance at coaching in a championship round after 1,524 regular season games. Like Ovechkin, he earned it, out-coaching Mike Sullivan in the previous round with some deft lineup decisions after Wilson's suspension and Backstrom's injury. The less said about benching Holtby versus Columbus, the better, of course. John Cooper's aggressive system makes the Lightning difficult to play against, and you can feel the enthusiasm from the players who thrive in it. Cooper, who nearly coached the Capitals before they hired Adam Oates instead, is in his 3rd conference final series. Advantage: Lightning. The pick: Lightning in 6.